So my name is Bola Fagbamiye. I started coming out to St. Matthew's Parish, 2006. We bought a house or townhouse in Fleetwood, and after we bought the townhouse, we're like, where's the nearest church? So we looked up St. Matthew's, and it said 160th and 88th. We ended up at the other church on the corner. So after about 5 minutes, my wife and I are looking at ourselves going, I think we're in the wrong place. So we leave, we come down the road, we come to Mass, and for about a year, I was just coming to Mass and going home. That was it. Then my mom came out. My wife is like, well, you got to get more involved. She became a lector. And she's like, well, you have to get more involved in the parish. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about, get more involved? You mean you want me to go to work after work? And I thought, well, you know what, it could be fun. And at that point, I didn't know anything about the school. There was no school. This was all just one big open field. And then the African community started doing African masses. And my mom came here when Damilola was born, and she joined the choir. And I'm going, you joined the choir, okay, that's fun. And then the very first year that the Christmas party happened, somebody said, oh, we're going to set up the Christmas party. Come give us a hand. I'm like, okay. I thought it was going to be fun and games till we had to take the flooring out of the container, wheel it across the parking lot to Holy Cross and set up the floor. Now, that was fun. So that was how I got involved in the community. And then the African community decided to do a New Year's Eve party. And I wasn't part of the executive, but somebody roped me into, well, give us a hand, you're pretty good at organizing stuff. I'm like, okay. Next thing you know, I'm organizing, I'm the MC, and we're raising funds, and we're running around arranging the floors again for New Year's Eve, and we had a really big event. So that was how I got involved in the parish, was through the African community. Spending time with Father Augustine, I guess he got to see that, okay, he's got a few skills, he can maybe help. And then I heard about the school, and at that time, construction had just started. So Father Augustine called me one day and said, I'd like to see you. I'm going, what did I do? So I go to see him, I sit in his office, and he's like, well, I want you to be involved in helping to get the school set up. I'm going, school set up? Okay, sure, it'll be a privilege. I didn't think anything of it. And then I get an email from him saying, okay, we're going to have a PEC meeting. But I'm going, there's no school yet. We got to set things up first. But at that point, there were so many fundraisers going on in the church, from CWL to the Knights. The CWL ladies, every time you see a CWL lady, give her a hug. Because they sold cupcakes, they sold pies. I mean, just the little things happening around the parish. It was such a vibrant community that you couldn't help but get involved. You just couldn't help it. And there were so many nice people and pleasant people that, you could get to start making friendships. At that point, I wasn't a Knight yet. I was many years till I joined the Knights. But then we had a first PEC meeting. And it was, well, this is CSVA. What does that mean? Okay, this is what it means. And this is what you guys are going to be doing. There was about 5 or 6 of us. Katrina was there at the time. There was a few other people. Some left the parish. But Katrina and I were the ones that pretty much started. And then Josephine joined us, I think, the following year. But the first thing we did was talk about, well, what are the things we need to get the school set up? Well, we need the building finished on time. Bill Borman was part of the PC at the time because he was part of the building committee. And he would tell us the difficulties they had with City of Surrey, and I think if he didn't lose his hair already, he would have lost his hair at that point because they couldn't get permits, they had to get follow-up with the city. It was, yeah, he had lots of sleepless nights, I can tell you that, between him and Father Augustine. Yeah, they lost all their hair over that, dealing with the City of Surrey. When the school finally, the building was coming together, we started working on things like picking out a uniform, talking about when we would interview teachers, because I was on the uniform committee, I was on the hiring committee as well. And then we talked about, well, this classes are going to be empty. We need to order furniture. So we looked at furniture, we looked at things like overhead projectors, things like what kind of books are we going to order, who are we going to deal with. You know, everything from photocopy machines to textbooks, everything we looked at. And slowly, I remember the day we looked at the furniture and we picked, okay, this type of furniture is known to last long, and sure enough, 10 years later, it looks like brand new. Lesha, of course, had been through that process in her school as a star of the sea, so she was a great help to us. Because, I mean, we started with, I'd never run a school before. You know, I run a business, but it's different. You're talking education. You know, you have to put things into place to make the environment friendly, make it comfortable for children, make it comfortable for the teachers. We looked at things like computers. Oh my word, that was a fun discussion. Are we going to go with Mac or are we going to go with Windows? I'm a Mac person, all through. I don't like Windows. But at one point, we had to say, okay, what is most useful? What is most easily accessible and what's most durable? We decided to go with MacBooks for the teachers. And the following year, I think a couple of years later, we decided to go with Chromebooks. Chromebooks are pretty new at that time. But the discussion over Mac or Windows, oh my word, that was interesting. You know, but it was, and that was a year before the school even was finished. We interviewed, I think, 3 or 4 candidates for a principal position. It was a whole day. We were here from 8 a.m. till probably 8 or 9 p.m. Some excellent people, really talented individuals. At the end of the day, there was no question that Deborah was the one. No question at all. But I mean, it was a long, long day. Interviewing every single teacher. I mean, at the time, we were going up to grade 2, and then we were thinking maybe a 2-3 split, maybe. You know, people are talking about splits, but the splits, people didn't really like the idea of the splits. But at the time, we interviewed every teacher. So it was very, very interesting. I really had a fun time at the beginning. It was a lot of work, but you could see immediately how our efforts were panning out and how it would pan out. Then the school opened, the very first day of school. I remember coming up early before kids came here. Before the kids arrived, and Bill Bowman was standing outside the front door. Father Augustine was milling around. Lesha was here, and a few of the teachers were, of course, here early getting things arranged. And the whole school and all the parents that were here that day all fit in the library. This was before the books, the bookshelves were in the bookshelves in, I think it was before the bookshelves actually went in. There were no bookshelves. Yeah, but yeah, I believe there were no bookshelves then. It was before there might have been bookshelves, but everybody fit into that room. It was absolutely amazing to watch all the kids sitting on the floor, and Father Augustine was there talking, and the teachers were standing in the back, parents standing in the back. You could feel the excitement. It was electrifying. The atmosphere was electrifying. And the kids were all excited, you know. My son had gone to kindergarten in public school, so he was wearing just no school uniform. Now you gotta wear a school uniform. The kids were so proud to wear their collars and walk down the hallway. It was a great day. I don't think anything comes close to that when it comes to the life of the school. Yeah. But the very first thing I remember coming here, watching the kids grab their luggage and hustle onto the bus to get out to the retreat. That was interesting. Then watching them do the first confirmation and the first grade 7 graduation, that was, I mean, you couldn't put it into words. Just the gratitude to God to say, okay, this has actually happened. We're grade 1, we're grade 2, grade 3, we added grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, now grade 7. It was incredible. When I look at the school and I look at how the school started, I think we need to give great credit to the parents that were here in the 80s, in the early 90s, that thought up, build a school. Well, that's all great, build a school, but it cost what, 2 million easily or more to build the school. And those parents that started out and they knew that there was no hope their children would ever go to that school, and they contributed blood, sweat, prayers, fasting, giving their time, giving their skills. Those are the real heroes of the 10-year anniversary. Those are the real heroes. The parishioners that have retired, that moved on, that passed on, those are real heroes, because we're standing on their shoulders. They laid a foundation that's unmovable for us to be here today. I mean, that for me was one reason I decided, okay, getting involved is a good idea. The women in my life sort of shoved me into it, but it was okay. I had no complaints at all. I mean, my wife's going to be shaking her head at me, but that's okay. I had no complaints, because when you look at it, the love you could feel when you come into the parish, it was unbelievable. Community of love and faith. I mean, community is a pillar. Faith and love are the two other legs of that three-legged stool. Because love is what makes each and every one of us give, and give selflessly. Faith is what drives us, that keeps us focused, laser focused on what we need to do. And then the community, brings both together. So for me, this community has been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Nothing but love. I mean, yes, as in any family, you have your ups and your downs, and you have your difficulties and your frustrations, but at the end of the day, we're all after the same thing. We're building a faith community for our children. We're keeping ourselves in the presence of God and working towards the best for every single person in the parish. So for me, St. Matthew's has been not just a second home, but home. So St. Matthew's Parish, St. Matthew's Elementary, happy 10th anniversary. This has been a labor of love, and here's to 10 more, and 10 more after that, and 10 more, and 10 more. God bless.